familiar with, but when I looked into it, I was very surprised what I found. In fact, about as surprised as I have ever been in this Ancient America series on what I found. And it's just not an artifact or a skeleton. It's a massive pyramid, one of the biggest in the ancient United States. I have never heard about it. I'm sure many of you have never heard about it. And the thing is, it's still there. And that's what really surprised me. I did an Ancient America series about 3 years ago, and I never knew about this. And I'm at least 4 or 6 weeks into my Ancient America series now. But let me take you down to Lafayette County, Arkansas. And let me just back up here. This is the Red River Valley. It's near Texarkana, Texas. Louisville, Stamps on the other side of the river. But this is a pretty good-sized ancient American pyramid, step pyramid. It was over 2 football fields long. It was over a football field wide. It was a 3-step platform pyramid, and it's still there today. This is one of the biggest step pyramids in the ancient United States. I had not heard about it, and it is still there. And there is one guy who has done recent work down here, but this would have taken hundreds of thousands of man-hours to build. When you're talking about this much earth, and this is totally eroded away. If I back up here, you can just tell by the erosion and the watermarks that flooding has taken out some of this pyramid, and that's what it is. It's a 3-step pyramid. Seems one part of it was used for ritualistic purposes, and another side of it was used for mortuary purposes. But this is all that is left today. There was work done here in 1948, and there is one gentleman from the University of Central Arkansas, I believe, that is doing work today, and I'm just going to mention him briefly in a bit. There are some areas that were excavated, and some ground-penetrating radar was used in here. But you see these areas like here, it's barely discernible on Google Earth from overhead. But when they did some research on these areas, this was certainly a site of an old settlement. The standard dating of the step pyramid is it comes from about 1,000, 1,200 years ago, and they are just guessing. Now here is one of the very few pics I could find, and you can see how this is a step pyramid, and flooding has deposited, I think, what they call alluvium material down here, which is basically sand and gravel from recent floods. So the bottom part of this, maybe 8 to 10 feet of the bottom, is covered by sand and gravel that were deposited here in floods. So this is really not the true form of it. This is eroded, plus the bottom has been covered up by floods, by material carried in here by floods. But really, there is not much to be found on the site. One of the largest pyramids in ancient America, and it still exists today. Where's the information? Now, when looking into these ancient American sites, one of the first places I go to is YouTube, because you can find a video on all these sites on YouTube. Even the small mounds, somebody's always posting something about these burial mounds, so it's one of the first places I go to. I get a look, I get some people's opinions on these sites. One of the largest pyramids in ancient America, and there isn't one thing on Battle Mound on YouTube. Isn't it worth it? One of the largest platform pyramids in ancient America. Shouldn't a video be on YouTube about this? Well,